how you got into the insurance business.
Most agents don't want to talk about sales. They don't want to hear that there's a sales problem. It's a lead problem. Always has been.
Right. Everybody complains about, oh, these leads are crap. But it's like, dude, you can take the best leads with no process and you're going to get no results.
Every deal is going to start the wrong way.
I don't think there's a right or a wrong way to build your business. There's just different ways.
Buckle up. It's the Insurance Dudes Podcast.
Boom!
Sean Matheis. How's it going,
Sean
man?
Matheis.
What's up, brother? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, we've been wanting to have you on for a long time.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You're a well-known person in this industry.
It's been a while. We're going on 6 years now. So.
Yeah, awesome. Well, before we dive in, why don't you tell us the very first concert that you went to? And way back, I mean, if it was Barney, then you have to say it.
Yeah, first concert I went to.
We haven't got a Barney yet.
And who was it? I want to say it was actually it was called Edge Fest in Dallas. They don't do it anymore. They still do it. It's just called something else. The station is called something else. But it was actually a bunch of different folks. There was I remember Offspring was there.
Oh, nice.
Godsmack was there. Let's see, there was like Sum 41 was there. Incubus was there. So there was a lot. It was a big first one. Yeah.
Like Incubus. They're awesome.
That had to be, what, 96, 97?
Yeah,
Maybe
I was
98?
probably 15, 16 years old. So a solid 20 years ago. That'd be
Crazy.
That makes me old.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
How you got into the insurance business, take us all the way through and then up to what you're doing now, and then we'll go into some other stuff.
Yeah, so it's actually been 10 years now that I've been in the industry, and I first started. I think I started getting licensed in 2009, and it was coming right off maybe it's 2008, coming right off the back of the real estate crash of 2008. I actually put myself through college as a real estate agent from 2005 to 2008, and then things started dipping, and I had a friend in the business. And I don't know if he even knows I tell this story, but he was with Shelter Insurance, and I was sending him all my business. And I was in his office one day, griping about the industry, and he said, "Dude, you should be in insurance. You'd be a great insurance agent." I was like, "Huh." So I got into it, looked at it. I actually got licensed with Farmers. Farmers licensed me as part of their reserve program. I had an offer to go work for State Farm as a what do you call it, sales rep for one of the agents. But at that time, my ego got in the way, and I was like, no, because I was a real estate agent. So I was like, no, I'm the agent. I want to be the agent. I don't want to work for an agent. So I went to Farmers, and then went through their training. And then I realized how much there was to learn. And I got kind of scared. I was like, man, this is a lot. Not only how to run a business, but then learn this insurance industry. Yeah. Maybe there's some method to the madness of going to work for somebody first. So then I went to do that, pulled back on that deal with Farmers, went and worked as a team member. Decided I really liked it. At the time I was living in Missouri. I just finished college, and then I wanted to get back to Dallas. So they said, go to Dallas. Texas is a whole other animal. I was in Missouri at the time. So I went to Dallas. So a total of almost 4 years as a team member. Then I was ready to start my own book. But at that time, it was 2010. In the state of Texas, there was some lawsuits going on with Department of Insurance and State Farm back at that time. And there's just like a little bit of a weathering of a storm that needed to happen. And I didn't want to weather that storm as a team member anymore. I wanted to start my own book. Ended up going to Liberty Mutual, starting there. It's quite a different setup than most of your traditional agency opportunities. Great company, great benefits, made a great deal of money there. Just wasn't quite what I was envisioning for myself, because I really wanted to be a business owner, and I just wasn't there. So after about 3 years of that, my first year I was Rookie of the Year, outsold 1,500 other agents that year, did just over 700 items and $1 million in new business premium by myself. Wow. And then was number 2 in Texas, number 5 in the country, stayed at the top there. And then ultimately in 2014 is what brought me to the marketing industry. At the time I had some stuff going on with the television show called $1 Million Listing New York, in LA. We were doing speaking engagements, and I kind of helped them build mastermind programs and webinars with showing them how to monetize their fan base. Apparently I was supposed to disclose that as part of my employment contract with Liberty. They didn't like it. They gave me an ultimatum. So I was like, you know what? I can always be an insurance agent. This is a once in a lifetime deal. I'm going to do this, and let that go. And then that's kind of where the coaching program for insurance agents came out of was, well, you know, I knew the TV show thing was only going to be so long because, you know, once the show ended, then that's it. So I built the program because I was like, obviously I know a little something that other agents don't know about marketing and generating leads, and decided to launch the Agency Alliance Mastermind back in 2014. And that's how I got into the marketing side of things.
So let's talk about the leads and your process for getting the leads. Where did you develop your process? And take us through that journey.
You know, really it was not out of necessity, but after my first 6 months in the business, I did everything that everybody else does. I did the networking events, I did the cold calls, long nights, you know, the friends and family deal, and purchasing leads. And I was ready to quit. I was like, this job sucks, man. Like, there's nothing fun about building an agency from scratch, at least doing it that way. And I was like, I got to figure out something else because I can't go into work like this every day and just get told no all day long. And when you have no clients and you're just doing sales, you're just pounding phones and trying to find something and make something happen. And at that time, that's, you know, social media just started kind of coming on the scenes. You know, Ads Manager was a new thing. And so I started going to and learning how to use Facebook, and seeing if there's a better way to reach people outside of this, what's traditional. And I saw all these different targeting filters, and I was like, man, there's like, my audience is in here. I can specifically target them now. I just got to figure out how to put it together in a way that's going to convert it and get a quote request out of it. And so it's really just a way of seeing that it was going to be something that was important that nobody else was doing. And if I could figure it out, I might just have something worth hanging on to. And it turns out it worked out.
How did you find that it started working? What was it? Was just you were good at the targeting, you were good at the copy, like what?
Yeah, so you know, I think a lot of it is really kind of understanding the consumer mindset. I kind of took a shortcut because at Liberty Mutual they have this thing called an affinity program. I think some other carriers have it too, but you can give discounts to people for different job titles or places of employment and things like that. And I saw that those things are available. So like a big one is they have basically every D1 alumni. If you went to college at a D1 school, they have a specific, your alumni has an agreement with Liberty Corporate. And so I was able to target those people. And I knew that one of the things that we did was go around to, you know, these fire departments or whatever and tell them about the discount. So I was like, well, what if I just tell them about the discount online and I can avoid the driving around town or cold calling and just basically let this ad serve as the cold call. And I thought, what would I say if I had one sentence to tell somebody about this affinity discount? What would that sentence be? And then I just popped it in there and they responded.
Love it. Cool, man. So so interesting. What other nuggets do you have as far as like low hanging fruit, maybe to get some agents interested and to kind of see what this kind of world's about and show them what internet marketing can do for them?
Yeah. So, you know, I think what I've learned over the last 5-6 years, I worked with thousands of agents and I think the biggest, like I've learned more in the last 12 to 18 months since we recently developed our own marketing automation platform. And so we watched hundreds of thousands of leads go through, sales process and follow-up journeys and tracked all their movements. And so we've got just an enormous amount of data. And something that I didn't do when I was selling that I would have, if I could have redone something, I would have learned more about the consumer behaviors and what motivates people to drive, what motivates people to buy insurance, like how the consumer thinks and what's going to make them respond. Because ultimately, I'm of the belief now there's no right or wrong way. If you would have asked me 2-3 years ago, I would have said the best way or the right way to market is to use social media and online. And fast forward today, I don't think there's a right or wrong way to generate a lead. I don't think there's a right or a wrong way to build your business. There's just different ways, and you're going to get different results. So if you give me 1,000 people in a database, you can cold call that database, you can mail that database, you can run ads to that database, you can go knock on their door. There's any number of ways that you can work it. As long as you're working it, you're going to get results. So as far as low-hanging fruit, I would first establish, okay, what tools and resources do I have? It surprises the hell out of me today how many people don't have a database. If I said, give me 1,000 people that I can work, they don't have it. Or if they do, they don't know how to access it. And so first and foremost, you have to get, if you were to go and if you're going to give your list of people to call, how do you have that in a format? You got to get it, put it in an Excel format, have your database so you at least know how many people are at your fingertips. And then from there, you can establish what is the best way to work this. Is it to call them? Is it to mail them? Is it to go knock on their door? What am I going to do? But have it, and you got to put something in place to start working that database, because the thing that I've learned is that if you have 1,000 people, there's going to be at any given time 10 to 15% of people that are interested at some level, whether it's willing to hear you, not hang up on your face, they will visit your website, open an email. At some level, 10 to 15% at any given time will at least hear you. 85 to 90% they don't want to hear you. They don't want it. And then between 1 and 3% are going to take a quote at any given time in your database. So it doesn't matter how you reach that person. That's going to be, like I said, after watching hundreds of thousands of people, that's the law of large numbers says that 1 to 3% of people at any given time you'll reach that will ask for a quote. So if you scale that out and we say, okay, I'm going to cold call my list. Okay. So for every 100 dials, you're probably going to reach 10, and you'll get 1 or 3, between 1 and 3 to say yes to a quote for every 100 dials. Now, You can do that also with mail. You could do that also with digital marketing, automation, emails, text. However you do it, doesn't matter. You're going to see those same type of results play out. So, put something in place to establish who you already have in front of you, because that's your path of least resistance. Instead of spending more money to get somebody new in, you got to start working what you already have and keep something in front of them at all times. And then you can add on. But what I tell people is, if you don't have a process in place, you don't have some sort of workflow, or, hey, when I get a lead, this is what happens definitively, whether it's you, your team member, or whatever, it should be a uniformed, systematic approach to how a lead gets worked and how they get followed up with. And then from there, you can start piling new leads on. But if you don't have a foundation or a process that you're going to use to follow up and maintain these relationships with these leads, you're just piling shit on top of shit, and it's not going to work. So there's no reason to continue buying more leads when you don't have a system or an ecosystem to put them in.
So let's talk about your program. Do you have a course that tells people how to design ads, or yeah,
we've got we have a ton of courses. Last year, or maybe 18 months ago, I really am not as involved with the coaching side as I used to be. It's more digital products at this point. I don't spend a whole lot of time actually teaching people how to do it. The courses are there. If you can read an instruction manual, you can learn how to do it. We have a marketing agency now. We work based on retainer, and we basically do everything for the agents. We just found a lot better success that way, because if an agent is trying to learn how to run campaigns and learn the whole marketing thing, it changes so fast. I mean, there's times where I'll put out a program, and 2-3 days after, everything changed, and now I got to re-record the whole thing. So it's it's changing so often right now that it's really tough to keep up with if marketing's not your full-time gig. And so we more focus on our retainer clients, and for those that we still have I don't know, maybe 100 or 150 people still paying for the digital product access, but it's not coaching anymore per se.
Okay. Well, cool. So Sean, how do people find you, or where, what should we put in the show notes that,
yeah, I mean, if you want to learn more about what we do at the marketing agency, just go to surefiredigitalmedia.com. And then you can check out insuranceleadgenie.com as well. Learn more about the automation tools and some of the websites and stuff that we do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good groups out there that you guys can join. Do you guys have a Facebook group?
We do.
Yeah. Join their Facebook group. Just get plugged in, man. That's what I would say. Stay away from groups where there's a lot of trash talking and nonsense going on. But there's a lot of productive insurance groups that are out there.
Mm-hmm. Ton of them.
I'd be careful with where you put your money. The one thing I can say about this industry is there's a lot of trap doors. There's a lot of fluff. There's a lot of regurgitated material these days going around. So really just kind of check out the source, and you'd be surprised at what you can learn for free. I'm all about maximizing, what you're able to do to, just learn the platforms, learn the audience, see what's available. It's really not hard to do. It really is not hard to do if you want to invest the time. I personally would say delegation is key. Just like you can't be on every sales call, just hire somebody out, man. Hire an accountant. Don't waste time doing your books. Hire good salespeople, hire service people, hire a marketing company, and hire lawyers. Don't mess with that stuff so that you can focus working on the business, and try not to work in the business if you're in a position that you can do that. Train your staff, get rid of dead weight, and focus on low-hanging fruit.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it, Sean.
You basically answered the final question.
Yeah.
Which is, what advice would you get? What's the one piece of advice? And there you go. That was all the advice.
All of it. That's all you need. Yeah. Don't complicate it, man. Just, think of what I always say is think of, I try to put an analogy in anything. So, if you look at sending an email, that's the equivalent of a mailer. Like however your brain currently operates, if you're a mailer, if you're a cold caller, or if you're a live transfer person, like whatever it is that you do to generate your business, there's a corresponding, digital way to do that. And it's not that digital's better. It's just a little bit more efficient and cost effective. A friend request is like bumping into somebody and it's a virtual handshake at a networking event. A message is like an elevator pitch. If you message somebody on Facebook, if you, look at the recommendations, it's a great place to go. Sending an email is like sending a physical mail. It's just a virtual mailbox. A video message, that's like a cold call. So if you can get that in front of 1,000 people, you just made 1,000 sales calls. You're probably going to get hung up on and deleted and moved on by most of them, but your video is there forever. And every time it's played, it's a new sales call to your audience. And so just kind of think in terms of that and look at how you can expand what you're already doing by using technology and different tools like that.
That's awesome.
Love it.
There's such there's such huge value in that list, right? In your list. And we buy all these leads, right? All these leads, whether it's Facebook leads or YouTube leads or internet leads or whatever, right? But we have the email. And so we're developing a list, and then it will just sit over there. And it's such a huge thing to take advantage of, because you're, like you said, I mean, you blast out 100,000 emails, you're going to get 1%.
Mm-hmm.
And so huge value there. So Sean, thanks so much for coming on. Really good
thanks,
to meet you.
guys. Appreciate it.
Anthony told me to say hi.
Oh. Aguilar?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Well, cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. Great advice throughout the whole time. So that was, thank you.
Really good to meet you, man. And I'll see you on the Facebook.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
All right, Sean.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Have a good one, Sean. Take care.
Hey, you've got to check out the Insurance Dudes Inner Circle coming soon, where you get extended interviews as well as live coffee talks in our private Facebook group. Join the mailing list today at theinsurancedudespodcast.com. Hey, thanks for checking out the Insurance Dudes. Hey, please subscribe. We got some really great stuff coming out.